Familial capital regards to personal resources students have pre-college surrounding their extended familial and community networks. I believe I have familial capital because I am supported and encouraged to continue my goals by my mom. She supports me and guides me through life. I really appreciate her for that. Valuing your family connections and who you have around you and who supports you, and just having that, it's valuable and not everybody has that. My family, we used to go camping and they used to just have me outside all day. They were always okay with me being outside. That's kind of where I got my love for like plant life and animal life, because I was always looking at the little creatures and the sea creatures, trying to like make little houses for them. And now I just kind of want to observe and research how like animals can benefit us and see how humans also are affected by animal life. She just wakes up every morning and she has motivation on her face, and she wakes me up usually, and she's always like supporting me. She's always there. She never lets me down, even if we're mad. She's always there. She just wanted me to do whatever I wanted to be happy with. She didn't care if I was doing art or music or whatever. She just wanted me to be doing what made me happy. Personally, my mom used to watch like Legally Blonde. It was just like all this college experiences and how like they got into college and it made them better. And she kind of always had that goal for herself. So she kind of implemented that on me as a child. So I kind of really got excited to go to college. That was like always in my plan since I was a little kid. It's the closest one to my house, and I didn't want to be like next to where I live, but like a little bit farther, but close enough. I didn't want to be too far. I want to be with my family. I want to stay around them and have my mom, because my mom works in San Diego, so she wants to be around here, and I want to be with her. She doesn't understand a lot of the stuff I do, but she still is like, oh wow, I could never, like, that's my biologist. I'm like like still in my second year. I'm not that far yet, but she's still very like, oh, she already knows. Like she uses words like that I'm already done for, like I already graduated or something, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not there yet. Hold on. Don't get too excited. But yeah.
So she helps you dream.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And really
definitely.
think about what's next.
She's like, oh, you're gonna be a doctor? I'm like, oh, maybe. Okay, I can maybe get there. And she's like, you're my doctor. I already know. I don't know. She's always like saying funny stuff like that to support me. And knowing that she believes in me and other people believe in me, it's like I can't give up, because they're there waiting for me to do it, and I want to make them happy. I just want my family to be proud, and I want to help them succeed in the future. I want us to own our own house and have our own things and not have to worry about like what's coming next. Yeah. I don't know. All I can think of is like, no seas huevona. Just don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Don't like get out of that funk. Like get out of your like situation. Like you're fine. Like you're living a life. You have your house. Like you're not washing your clothes in the river, like you're fine, you're happy. Just do what you got to do, take it day by day. And that's it. You just got to appreciate what you have in front of you. All the women in my family have always like had to take control and have multiple jobs to take care of like a lot of kids. So I come from very strong women who are like, I don't need anything. I can control this. I can do this by myself. So you can too. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm right there. I have to, because that's how they raised me. I don't know. They're the strongest women I can ever think of. And I don't think like, I've never met a woman like that can actually like handle stuff and not need anything from anybody else. My family just wants the best for me, even like if it's like carilla or like making fun of you, or just I just feel like they always just still want the best for you at the end of the day. dicen lo que dicen, like they just want to be there for you, and they want to see you happy, and they want to see you be supported. And I love that about my family. It makes me feel like I can keep going because I have something to lose. I have something to think about in the back of my head that I want to keep going towards.
I think coming from like a Hispanic background, Hispanic household, my first language is Spanish. So understanding the importance of being bilingual, like having Spanish as a tool, like especially for work too. I used to work in like retail, so like customers would come in not knowing any English, and being able to connect with them, it's kind of, it's not just a skill, but it's like another benefit of being bilingual, and I feel like it just helps you connect with more people. You look at it both ways. Like I said, there's a benefit because you get to connect with like your family and like other people, but at the same time, between family, especially with like academics, it's like they're kind of expected for you to translate certain documents. Like you go to the lawyers or you go to a doctor's office, they're like, what does this document say? You know, like a 12-year-old girl is reading them like official documents. Like you kind of don't feel qualified, but you kind of have to because there's no one else in the household that will be able to help them with that. I feel like it's just like a certain skill that's going to benefit not only yourself but your family. Like in my perspective, it's like, wow, I'm able to translate this. Like, am I qualified to do this? But then at the same time, it's like it's expected of me to know because I go to school. Like you go to school for this, to translate, to help us read like English documents because we don't know that language. And I feel like in that way, it's like, okay, I feel special, but I also feel like I'm put at this higher like expectation. They set the bar higher. And it's like you're kind of expected. I feel like it's a struggle keeping at that level or more. But I mean, I think it was worth it. A little difficult there. Able to speak more than one language is really cool. I feel like after passing my ELD classes, which I feel like it took a longer while than other people, I think I passed that program like 4th grade. So like I was always trying to pass that. So every year I would have the exam and I'd never pass it. So after I passed it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like now I am proficient in both English and Spanish. So I was like, okay, I guess I can connect with more people that way. And it's more of a skill to be able to speak both Spanish and English. I think so. I mean, there are certain phrases, you know, and there's no literal translation from one language to another. So it's like knowing the language it comes from. It's kind of unique to be able to understand it the way it's supposed to be and not just a translation of what they think it should be. Actually, it was in middle school. I knew English and Spanish at that point, but I felt like I needed to learn something else, and they offered German at school. So I took German from middle school to high school. So I feel like that was another like way to look at the world from like a completely different perspective than what I was used to. Yeah, absolutely. I think it does because it kind of gives me a drive. It's like I know my family's counting on me. They think I'm already, you know, I'm a junior in college and I'm going to graduate soon. So it's like your family's already like getting the party ready. I'm going to invite all my cousins, my family to show like you were able to get a bachelor's, you're able to get educated in education here in America. It's like a reward for them to see that.
Yeah. And then so being bilingual with extended family, you end up being sort of a role model and you can speak about it in their native language.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell my mom, like usually I go to parties and the first thing they ask is like, how's school? And it's like, you know, like usually you try to like, how are you? How's your life? It's like, no, it's like, how's school? Are you going to graduate soon? And it's like at one point I'm like, they're excited. Like I get it. But I feel like with extended family and my family, I'm the first one, even in my whole extended family, to go to college, to have like that degree. And I feel like in that way, they're really proud to see that. And it gives me more of a drive to keep going. Well, there's like this joke. So my dad is from Guerrero and my grandpa is too. So they always have like these weird sayings. Like even like my mom's from this other part. It's called Oaxaca. So my dad, they're always like va, or like to say yeah or whatever. They're like va. So when they're talking about me, like in school, my grandpa's like, es especialista pues va. And it's like, it's not something common you hear in Spanish. So it's like their little saying of like how I'm going to become someone educated, someone with a career. And it's just like what I'm known for in my family, I guess.
My name is Christina. I'm a biology major. I'm in my last year now, and I'm really excited to be on the Soy STEM team. To me, it's the connections and people that you surround yourself with that will get you to, the next steps in your life, through your educational career, outside, professional career and all that. It's the people you surround yourself with, the connections that you make, and just fostering those. My family, they have supported me through, everything all the way from like high school and into college. I went to community college first, so that was a little transition, especially since it was online during 2020, and we're at home all the time. So they were definitely there for me like throughout that whole process, and then especially transferring here, which they were super excited that I was staying locally. So, and I was too. So yeah, definitely my family. The constant like support and backing in every decision that I've made. And I mean, that even goes for mentors that I've had. Like in one of my research labs, we have an old master's student who I'm still in contact with today, Alex, and like he's always been really supportive with everything that I've like updated him on. And same thing with my parents and family. Like I tell them things like, oh, I joined the Soy STEM team. Like, oh, what's that? That's so cool. Or changing my major. I did that a few times while I was at community college. And every time they're like, if it's what you want to do, like go for it. I would say when I first started college, because I feel like everyone during 2020 went through, some sort of challenge. And for me, it was a mental challenge, and I'd never gone through anything like that before. Being kind of stuck at home for like a year and a half was hard because I'm very much a people person and I need interactions with other humans. So, staying in those four walls at home was a little difficult during that time. And I mean, they got me through it. Like I probably wouldn't have gotten through that first year of college at home if it wasn't for them, like constantly like supporting me, like, come on, you can do this, like pick yourself up. It was kind of like the like affirmational stuff for them, like that they gave me that really got me to, that second year of college, which like that second year I did a lot, which eventually brought me here to CSUSM. The transition here to CSUSM was pretty easy for them just because I was staying local. I'm still living at home. It wasn't too much of a difference. But once I made the decision of wanting to pursue my PhD, that was something that they're kind of like, whoa, like that's something no one's ever done before. But I mean, I've still gotten the same support, and I've gotten a lot more mentors along the way, even in this past year, like people who supported me in my decision to continuing on to PhD after graduation. And I mean, nothing has really changed too much. If anything, I got more support and kind of like pushed to like just continue down this path until you find that one thing that you're like, that's what I want to do, and for me, I personally think that's gonna be somewhere in the research world. It was definitely while I was still at Palomar, because again, going through like that first year and a half all online, I knew no one and didn't really have connections. But once I started having a few classes on campus, that's when I found the Bridges to Back program at Palomar, which allowed me to do research here at CSUSM. And once I realized like I fell in love with research and stuff, I kind of noticed like if I hadn't reached out to Professor Gillardi at Palomar, like I would not know anyone that I like currently work with right now and friends with right now, people who've gotten me like positions that I've had. Like if it wasn't for like taking that step and kind of like getting out of your comfort zone to talk to people and meet new people and tell them about yourself. Like everyone's a person no matter what like fancy title they have, and I just think it's really important to put yourself out there, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't be where I am today right now. I mean, as imposter syndrome, I felt like I more felt that in school, like in my classes, which was really hard because, I mean, science isn't easy, and once I was like going up like yearly, and the classes get more difficult. I kind of felt that a little bit more, but I've noticed that I was going towards people who had similar backgrounds as me, or who had like similar goals, and try to surround myself with those types of people because they're the ones that I can relate with the most, and like they were going to support me still and make sure I was on the right track.
So do you have a lot of Latina female?
In my family, yes. Some friends, like in URISE, I mean, a lot of us are like coming from underrepresented communities. And I would say one of my best friends now in college, she is Hispanic. And I mean, we talk about like, we're definitely more like Mexican American type family, her and I, so we can relate on that end. It's a very good mix of both cultures. And so we talk about like certain things that we do with our families or like holidays that is just funny to us and we can relate.
Learning what you've learned as your undergrad
Mm-hmm.
and being a Latina female going into a PhD program
Yeah.
in biology, how will you take lessons learned from here into that experience?
Well, that's actually an interesting question because I felt very supported here, and I know this institution is an HSI campus, and I'm a little scared to go somewhere else just because I know the support system won't be as strong, like say in a different state, and living in Southern California, it's a melting pot here. So it's definitely going to be new. And do I have my like drawbacks sometimes? Yes. Am I a little scared? Yes. But I think, it's just looking for the right support system wherever I go will be key. And I feel like I've done a good job so far at doing that. Even here, like the community is just overall very supportive.